What have been some successful training tactics that you've used or seen in order to increase revenue, right? Because I feel sometimes like you can have, and I've been totally guilty of it, you can have really cool, passionate training sessions with your staff. And what we do a lot of too is, for example, at our restaurant, I know you're part of the CMS program also, we're here to mentor and make sure they have tasting groups and they're exposed to other people who are better tasters than they are and all these things. Looking back, sometimes I feel like I don't know how much is that really helping to increase revenue to this restaurant, right? And as busy as we are, we also want to make sure that we're using our time in the right place. Is there an educational approach that can be a little bit more tailored to have an outcome on the revenue side of the restaurant?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. First of all, you have to know your customer. When you're training your servers and your bartenders and your sommelier team, and they're your customers, so to speak. A person that comes to my restaurant and spends money is a guest. But a person that is working with me when I'm training them is a customer, right? Because they're making money based on what we're talking about and if and how I can help them. And if they're making money, my restaurant's making money.
Right.
So understand that we might be passionate and excited about wine, and for most people, they're not career servers or bartenders. And even if they are, most people don't really care so much about wine. Maybe some of them recognize that it's a means to an end, but we can't expect them to get excited about subregions and soil types and months in oak and all that stuff that we might care about and think is important. And I think most people get training wrong because they train something like this. I know a lot about this stuff. I'm going to tell you about this stuff. Know your customer. Your training should be, I'm going to teach you how to use this information to increase your check average and increase your tip percentage and increase your guest satisfaction. That's for them, but the ancillary benefit is it's for your restaurant profitability. The other part of that is most people train wrong, and again, not to call anyone out, but even like at the master of wine, master sommelier level, and all points in between, winemakers, importers, distributors, 99% of the people who I've ever heard train are doing it wrong. Not that they're not knowledgeable. It's because most people train on what? Training is about how and why. And I will give you a perfect example. When the last restaurant I opened for Star Restaurants was St. Anselm in DC. And I decided, based on the history and relevance of Madeira to DC and my love of Madeira, that I was going to try to build one of the best Madeira programs in the country. And I don't mean biggest, I just mean most exciting. So we opened that restaurant with over 50 different Madeiras. They were all available by the ounce rather than a 3-ounce glass, so they're more cost appropriate. Organized by style, not necessarily by grape or sweetness level. And St. Anselm's training, when we opened, I spent about 2 hours training the staff on Madeira. I spent about 8 minutes explaining what is Madeira, what are the rules, what are the grapes, what are the styles. And I spent the remaining nearly hour and 45 minutes or hour and 50 minutes explaining how and why. Why do we have this program? How is it relevant to DC? How is it relevant to the cuisine? How do you pair with the cuisine? Why does Cercial go so well with oysters and charcuterie and things like that? Why does Bual go so well with fattier fish and steaks and lamb? And why does Verdejo go so well with anything fried and more white lean fish? And how is it that really Madeira is not really a dessert wine? Even at its sweetest, it barely qualifies. How do you work that into the conversation? Why would a guest be excited about this? How do you take this scary unknown thing and introduce them to an inexpensive flight that then unlocks it to them? So St. Anselm sells like $2,000 to $3,000 a week of Madeira, not because people are coming in and being like, I want some 1850 Cercial. It's there, sure, you can buy it, but that's not why. And it's not because the staff even knows so much about what Madeira is beyond the the perfunctory understanding of it. It's because they understand how and why. And that's what all training